Okay. Go ahead and get a good cry out. So not listening to me, always thinking of the next things to say, active fucking listening. 5 minutes on the clock. This roller coaster is presumably just going to finish its ride at the end of it. But we, while they're doing that, are going to be talking about when an SDR calls you and they've got their pitch and they're really excited to talk with you because you fit their ICP so well and everything's going smooth. And then you ask a question and they don't even acknowledge you. But what's the deal with that?
What? I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
Classic Alex. No, yeah, we're talking about the idea that like when you're talking with an SDR, they've got almost like a script in front of them, and it irks me. And I'll get your take on it because I'm pretty sure it irks you as well. But like they have to get through A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, whatever to qualify you as a lead. So their only focus is getting those questions answered. And I could bring up a different goal or challenge that I have that doesn't necessarily fall under their neat little script, and it just throws them for a loop and they just default to asking the next question or kind of ignoring me altogether. Pain in the butt, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, it's the worst. I mean, active listening is a great life skill to have, obviously, but in the role as an SDR, it's vital, right? Because you need to ask specific questions and qualify them, but you also need to build rapport. Remember, you're the first impression for a lot of prospects at your company, and you have to be able to carry a good conversation and just get to the qualification when it's comfortable to do, in that context. But I think a lot of this really comes down to the management level and explaining how call scripts work, right? Because call scripts are great to have when you're first starting or you've got a new product launch, things like that, where it's obviously not already all in your head, but you want to get away from that as soon as you possibly can. And I think management is what really has to push an SDR to, because they probably know it before they know that they know it, if that makes sense. So like for me, I was in choir in high school and yeah, the way I sort of think of it, when I was in choir in high school, we'd have the sheet music we'd read. And then one day the teacher would just say, all right, everyone put your sheet music down. And like, I didn't know it. Nobody knew it. But right between the collective group, we all knew it, or like it was in there somewhere. So we were able to get through it. It wasn't the cleanest, but you do it without the sheet music long enough and you figure it out. And then obviously, you perform, you win state and all that sort of thing. So,
very specific example.
So yeah, I think making sure the management knows that the call script is the start, and then you really need to move away from that and teach SDRs how to just have a conversation, how to pull the nuggets out when they come up. And on top of that, it also helps gathering with the sort of part of the SDR role where they're gathering market intelligence, right? Just because it doesn't answer a question that you need answered doesn't mean it's not important information. And if you're just asking the questions, you're going to miss out on that stuff.
100%. And I just thought about this as we were talking, but like gathering that intelligence, that conversational information that you're kind of teasing out of a prospect, is sort of a longer term play. Like you're learning this so that maybe on the next call you have a story to tell, or you have more competitive intelligence on a competitor that's rising in your space. The point being that like not every call you have has to end with a yes. You can sometimes glean, and it's almost more important to glean as much information out of a no as possible. And to your point about management, a lot of times managers train reps to get the yes and only get the yes, and getting a no is seen as a failure. But in most cases, a no can be seen as just as valuable because of the information you're gathering, because of the picture that you're painting, and learning more about the space, the industry, your competition, blah, blah, blah. You as an SDR grow from no's. Just made that up on the spot. And the idea being that like, you have to be able to have this conversational ability to know what to say when someone kind of responds with an objection, sure, but like also to kind of go off the rails a bit, the roller coaster behind us, go off the rails and really navigate a conversation off script so that you can get to that point where you're learning from yeses and mostly from no's.
Yeah, 100%. And if you really want to test someone's active listening skills, play a video of a roller coaster behind them, because that's very distracting.
Right?
And I think it's been on more than one roller coaster, which is weird. There were blue tracks earlier.
I'm not going to lie, I have not been paying attention to the roller coaster because we're in the middle of recording a podcast.
That's great active listening skills, AJ. Good job.
Yeah, thanks, I appreciate it. But yeah, I think that's like sort of my wrap up here with active listening is like you're taught as an SDR to go from A to B to C in your script, but there needs to be more value placed on the ability to navigate away from that, get the answers that you're hoping to get, and really focus on a long-term goal. Yes or no doesn't really matter. And that starts with management, to your point.
Yeah, 100%. And just as a last note, I will say, if you're an SDR and you don't feel supported by it, or you really want to take it upon yourself to make these sorts of changes, you absolutely can. And your manager, if your manager says anything in the other direction, oh no, don't do that, stay on the script, that's a bigger issue that probably has to do with the system than just sort of your role or even your management role. Yeah, and I don't want to talk about anyone's job, but maybe look at other ones.
Oh, what a note to end on.
I only own one shirt, but I've got plenty of hats.
I also only own one shirt, but I have so many jackets and sweaters.
I do too, but they're all in the laundry. I need to do laundry, really.
Oh, I just did laundry.
Oh, that explains why you have so many jackets and sweaters.